I'm John Hendricks. It's Thursday, June 25th. Today, mobilizing aid.
This is something that they experience very directly. Many of these staff slept outside last night, we've been told.
How a local organization is helping those affected by devastating Venezuelan earthquakes. Also today, pinch your pennies. How much MPI rates could be going up. Plus, rolling into service. How the Winnipeg Police Service is modernizing its two-wheeled fleet. Good afternoon. Thanks for joining us. A local organization is mobilizing help so aid can be provided to Venezuela following a pair of devastating and deadly earthquakes. Officials say at least 188 people have been killed. More than 200 are trapped, and many more are feared dead. The first 7.2 magnitude earthquake struck west of Morón on the Caribbean coast, about 170 kilometers west of Caracas. And just a minute later, the U.S. Geological Survey recorded a second 7.5 magnitude earthquake southwest of the area. Now, Canadian Lutheran World Relief has launched an emergency appeal to support affected families with critical needs, including providing emergency shelter kits, basic hygiene supplies, and clean water. The organization says through its partners at Lutheran World Federation, it already has boots on the ground in the region.
They've been present there for many years, and in fact, the experience that they're now going through, this is something that they experience very directly. Many of these staff slept outside last night, we've been told. So they're affected by the impacts of this earthquake very directly, very personally. The communities that they're partnering with are in fact their neighbors, and they're working with them together to jointly find a way to respond and support people that are most acutely impacted by this.
If you're interested in learning more, you can head to clwr.org/Venezuela. MPI rates could be on the way up in Manitoba. The public insurer is asking for an increase on its general rate application with the Public Utilities Board. The Crown Corporation is asking for an approval of an increase of just under 2.4% to its overall rates for the 2027-2028 insurance year. It says the request is based on three factors: forecast claims cost, the corporation's ongoing costs, and investment income. The release says its recent extreme weather events such as last week's hailstorms and the resulting jump in the number of claims afterward do not have an impact on the rate request submitted Wednesday. MPI says such isolated and extreme events are covered by the Crown Corporation's own reinsurance provider. And speaking of MPI, it's opening up a second hail response center following an influx of storm claims. The Crown Corporation says the June 9th storm resulted in 25,000 claims, the largest number it's ever received from a single weather event. The new center, which is located at its Main Street Service Center in Winnipeg, will offer damage assessment appointments for those in the city and surrounding areas. Now, after opening a claim, customers will be contacted with information about how to book at one of the hail response centers across the two locations that MPI will now be able to offer 400 daily appointments. MPI is also completing initial damage assessments at its Arborg Service Center due to the more than 200 claims that have been open in the Interlake region. The claim center at its Gateway location opened last week and has already completed 1,800 assessments. The City of Winnipeg's energy use and emissions climbed in 2025, with the Public Service saying greenhouse gas levels will need to decline faster for the city to meet its targets. Now, both metrics, energy usage and emissions, rose by about 1.5% last year. The increase in emissions was largely driven by CO2 emissions from the landfill, increased diesel fuel consumption, and increased use of natural gas. The largest single increase in energy consumption came from buildings, which consumed 4% more energy, mostly because of the demand for heat. The city's use of electricity dropped, but emissions actually increased. increased. The Public Service says that's partly because 2 years of low water means that Manitoba Hydro's electricity generation came from more carbon-intensive generators. An Air Force base in Winnipeg is expanding, and Winnipeg's mayor hopes that it will be a boon for the city's construction sector.
When Department of National Defense puts out a contract, not just anybody can bid. You've got to be qualified.
Getting Winnipeg companies ready to bid on 17 Wings expansion is why a panel was held today featuring Mayor Scott Gillingham, the base commander, and Winnipeg Construction Association representatives. It's providing information on the specific requirements to enter the National Defense procurement process, which includes things like security clearances. The first phase of expansion is a National Defense substation.
The substation will be the power requirements for us to be able to bring in the new projects, for example, future aircrew training program, the future kayak capability, these projects that have been announced and funded.
17 Wing is currently planning phase of the expansion and building new space to accommodate further projects over the next 5 to 20 years. The expansion is expected to support up to 1,400 jobs. The Winnipeg Police Service is modernizing its bike patrol. 16 new e-bikes have been added to the service's bicycle fleet. They'll be deployed across all 4 districts for use in combination with the mountain bikes that are traditionally used by the patrol. Members say the new bikes allow them to reach a scene faster.
I've been on the regular mountain bikes when there's a call maybe a few blocks away, and by the time you get there, you're huffing and puffing and out of gas. With the e-bike, that allows you to kind of maintain yourself a little bit more and be able to react to the situation once we arrive on scene.
The bike patrol allows officers to access locations with a lot of foot traffic that's difficult to reach by traditional police cruisers, like parks and trails, and also attend special events. 25 officers have completed the specialized bicycle patrol training. The patrol operates between May and October. Well, if you're planning on heading out to the Winnipeg Blue Bombers game tonight, you can expect some traffic delays. The Blue and Gold are warning fans about major construction work, which could lead to some detours. The city has shut down eastbound access from University Crescent onto Abinogi-Michina. The northbound to eastbound ramp there is closed until August 3rd. And if you had planned on traveling down University Crescent, don't. Drivers will be redirected onto northbound Pembina Highway. Also, if you're using the parking lots, which are accessed through University Crescent, you must exit using the same road. The Bombers will take on the Edmonton Elks at 7:30. CTV weather specialist Colleen Brady joins us now with your first look at your evening forecast. And Colleen, what kind of a night is it going to be for the fans at the Bomber game?
Well, once you navigate those traffic closures and you get into the game, just be prepared for at least the first quarter for a low chance of showers and a thunderstorm risk. Well, you can see we have the satellite radar lighting up again. We have some lightning firing off near Swan River, but a cluster of thunderstorms, non-severe though they are, but still, look at this, all in the southeast and east of Winnipeg, and then over the border into northwestern Ontario. And there could be a lot more where this comes from over the weekend and into next week. We'll talk about why that is, and I'll show you more coming up. But for now, let's take a look through the CTV Live Eye. It is brought to you by Bath Fitter, exclusive home of the PermaFit solution. In Winnipeg right now, it is 25 degrees. With the Humidex, it feels like 27. Light winds out of the north at 4 kilometers an hour. That bodes well for the game tonight. The pressure's dropping and the humidity is 46%. Heading out in traffic, a live look at Confusion Corner. Not so confusing right now, John. Traffic quite light at this particular moment. Traffic moving well through that part of the city.
For a lot of them, it means the world. It's just knowing that somebody's there.
Reaching out to kids with cancer, how a local organization is trying to make the journey easier for them and their families. Taking a look at the markets, crude oil added $1.58. The loonie rose to 70.4 cents U.S. Gold futures gained nearly $39. The TSX was up 114 points. The Dow Jones added 71, and the Nasdaq lost 118. A Pembina Trails Elementary School has a new name. Dalhousie School will now be known as Onibimenon. It's the word from which Pembina originates and means summer berries. The name was chosen in consultation with language and knowledge keepers. A decision was made to change the name after a report from Dalhousie University found Lord Dalhousie enacted policies during his time as Nova Scotia governor that negatively impacted Black people in Canada. Signage, communication, and materials will be updated with the new name in the coming months. Saturday will mark 1 year since Winnipeg's iconic Portage and Main intersection reopened to pedestrians. But the future of the underground concourse and the businesses there remains unclear.
First of all, we continue to work with the property owners on the four corners of Portage and Main to hear them and to hear their concerns. Our staff wants to, is taking a look at what can be done in the underground, whether we do need to close it or whether there's some other means by which we can address the issue.
Mayor Scott Gillingham says he stands by his decision to not pursue costly repairs to replace a leaking waterproof membrane, which could potentially keep the concourse open. Now, that project would have cost in excess of $70 million. However, the mayor says the company that reopened the intersection actually made some repairs on the membrane as part of the work, but it's not clear how much of it was fixed. When a child gets diagnosed with cancer, it can be a scary and overwhelming time in any parent's life. But a Manitoba organization is trying to make things easier. Manitoba Candlelighters is a group of parents whose children have been touched by the disease, and they offer support to families who are now going through that journey. Some of that assistance comes through providing care packages to newly diagnosed childhood cancer families, which includes a $500 gift card for groceries or gas, sending weekly hot meals to HSC Children's Hospital Childhood Cancer Ward, hosting events, and lots more.
For a lot of them, it means the world. It's just knowing that somebody's there to help them out, or somebody's there just to know that they're not alone in the journey. And we don't push ourselves on them. We give them the care package, and we basically leave it up to the families to reach out to us. And some reach out immediately, some never do, and that's okay. Each person goes through that journey differently, but we want them to know that we're there if they need us and when they need us. And some will come years later and reach out to us. Some, like I said, will come the first day.
Around 50 kids are diagnosed with childhood cancer in the province each year. To learn more about the organization, head to manitobacandlelighters.org.
Community Connection is brought to you by Mr. Reuter Plumbing. Born to be a hero, trained to be a plumber.
Brazil's Christ the Redeemer statue was lit up in the colors of their flag, marking 1 year until the 2027 FIFA Women's World Cup. Brazil will host the tournament's first ever stop in South America. In addition to the statue being lit up, there was also a special ceremony held to honor the trailblazers in women's football in Brazil. Kickoff for the tournament is June 24th, 2027.
Bond.
Waiting for a license to thrill. What names are being mentioned as the next actor to play the iconic role? Colleen Brady has your spotlight today, and the downtown Winnipeg Farmers Market is back.
Is it ever? And John, it's looking a little different this year. Vendors lined Graham Avenue earlier today, selling homemade crafts, baked goods, and much more. The market traditionally sets up behind the Manitoba Hydro building, but shifted this year because Graham is no longer a bus route. You can find the market every other Thursday between 10 and 2. It returns July 9th.
Well, some sad news out of the entertainment world tonight.
That's right. David Clayton Thomas, the voice of Canadian band Blood, Sweat and Tears, has died. The Grammy Award winner died Tuesday evening at St. Michael's Hospital. He sold more than 40 million records over the course of his career, which began in the early 1960s. A memorial concert celebrating his life in music is set to be held at a later date, with the proceeds benefiting Peace Builders Canada. David Clayton Thomas was 84.
Well, we have an update on the search for a new James Bond, and I'm hopeful that it will leave us shaken, not stirred.
Well, we'll see. We'll see. A report says producers are getting closer to a final decision.
Name?
Bond. James Bond.
Daniel Craig stepped down from the role after 2021's No Time to Die. Last year, Canada's own Denis Villeneuve was revealed as the director of the next film in the spy franchise. Sources tell Deadline the Bond team is now letting actors know if they made it onto the next round of auditions in August. They're reportedly looking for someone fitting the prototype of Jacob Elordi, Harris Dickinson, or Callum Turner. But, John, there are no specific names in the running. Amazon MGM has not commented.
I guess we will all just have to wait and see. Well, it looks like Dr. Evil and his gang have reunited.
This is very exciting. The characters from Austin Powers are appearing in a commercial.
Scott, something you'd like to add?
Yeah, this isn't evil. This is just typical phone company stuff.
Hama what?
It's literally what everyone already hates.
No, Scott. You're literally what everyone hates. It's the game, not the play.
The characters from Austin Powers are appearing in an ad for Verizon. Mike Myers later posted this pic to his social media, writing, quote, "Had a delightfully evil time getting this band back together. We'll have to do it again soon." Now, this comes after Myers confirmed a fourth installment of the film is coming with one word. While at Trevor Noah's World Cup watch party, an audience member asked Myers whether Austin Powers 4 would ever happen, and he simply said yes.
Well, they were.
That should be good.
Looking forward to it.
Yeah, same. It seems that the signs are all pointing to a New York City wedding next week for pop star Taylor Swift and Kansas City Chiefs player Travis Kelce.
That's right. The New York Times is reporting that a permit has been filed with the city. It requests streets around Madison Square Garden close for an event on July 3rd. Swift and Kelce announced their engagement last August, but the date of their wedding has remained a mystery.
Colleen, I can tell you that is definitely fake news because I have not received any wedding invitations, so clearly not happening.
Maybe it got hung up at the border. I'm sure it's on its way, John.
I would imagine it better be.
Well, and you know what? Just watch. It'll be somewhere in, you know, say Napa Valley in California or something, the actual wedding.
Well, I'll let
I don't
you know
I'm
once
just
I get
theorizing.
my invitation. Yeah, I'll let you know once I get my
Either way,
invitation.
that's right. Thank you. Report back.
You got it. Thank you.
You're welcome. Grab your boots and hat. Your Thursday primetime lineup starts at 7 with CMA Fest. Jelly Roll and Ashley McBride host an evening of entertainment from some of the biggest names in country music. It's all right here tonight on CTV. A live look at McPhillip Street. We can see some road construction there. Otherwise, traffic seems to be moving around it pretty well. It is 25 degrees in the city right now with just some very, very light north winds. With the humidex, it feels like 27. I'll have more on those thunderstorms coming up.
Women's clothing provided by RW & Company. Salon services provided by S&T Spa Salon. CTV Skywatch weather brought to you by South Beach Casino and Resort. Visit southbeachcasino.ca.
Well, as you may have noticed, for the better part of the last 2 weeks, we've had unseasonably cool temperatures. That started to change today. What didn't? The atmospheric instability. It seems day after day, we've had these thunderstorms, for the most part, that have been non-severe that have popped up, and we're seeing that again this afternoon. Some lightning popping up there right around Swan River to the north of Dauphin. But I want to point this out again. We've got this cluster of very active non-severe thunderstorms firing off to the southeast of the city, to the east through the White Shell, and over the border well into northwestern Ontario. There you can see Kenora getting swept up right in that thunderstorm activity, Red Lake as well. Now the issue though is that we're likely going to see more of this in the days ahead. The reason being, as unstable as the atmosphere has been lately, it's going to become even more so. The atmospheric instability will be shifting to the east, and as it does, the risk for severe thunderstorms returns by late Friday night and into the weekend, and we could even see thunderstorms well into next week. So hit the repeat button. If you're heading out to the game tonight, keep in mind overall conditions should be great. Of course, by 10 p.m. the bulk of the game will be over, but at least in the first quarter of the game, just be prepared for the possibility of showers. There's at least a low chance of it but also there's that risk of thunderstorms. But once we get certainly past halftime, then that risk subsides, clearing up for the most part overnight over Manitoba and into northwestern Ontario. We get into Friday, it will be a lot like today, sunny in the morning, but then bam, we get into the afternoon. The risk of scattered showers returns, but widespread thunder showers are more expected across the north, more scattered thunder showers across the south, taking us into late Friday night, which, as I mentioned, is when it could start to get even more interesting with the potential for severe weather. Now we get into Saturday. It doesn't look like much, does it? But then we get into the afternoon. Looks like heavy rain there in the southwest corner, brighter skies further to the north. For tonight, 14 degrees. There is that risk of thunderstorms again early this evening, whether you're going to the Bomber game or not. Light winds out of the southeast at 10 kilometers an hour. And then tomorrow, a lot like today, a mix of sun and cloud, a high around 25 degrees. That's right around normal for this time of year, with that chance of afternoon showers with the risk of a thunderstorm. Winds picking up a bit out of the southeast at about 20 kilometers an hour. The UV index for tomorrow, which by the way is Friday, I'm sure you're keeping track. The index is 7 or high for tomorrow. Then check this out. This is what I'm talking about. We look at the weekend. Rain showers and thunderstorms quite likely Saturday and Sunday, and even into Monday with daytime highs in the mid-20s and overnight lows in the upper teens. Then we get into next week. There is still a risk of thunderstorms on Tuesday. Otherwise, fairly sunny, and the sunshine will continue on Wednesday, Canada Day, with a hot high of 29 degrees. Let's take a look at our first weather photo. Look at the beautiful sky there. All those colors. That was up at Winnipeg Beach. That photo was from Jody. And this next one, take a look at the pouring, the downpour there coming out of those clouds. That was out over Glass, Manitoba. That's just east of Winnipeg. That photo was from Kelly. Send us yours by email to winnipegweather@ctv.ca.
Skywatch Weather Pick of the Day brought to you by Provivo, Winnipeg's first and only longevity medicine clinic. Redefining health, performance, and aesthetics. Provivo.com.
The Artemis 3 mission hasn't even launched yet, and work is already underway for Artemis 4. Now, this includes the experts sewing that mission's spacesuits. Now, those suits will protect the Artemis astronauts as they step onto the lunar surface. Now, they also have to be functional to allow for movements like squats and lunges. Artemis 4 is set to launch in 2028. The team is doing all they can to get the suits approved and ready by then. So I guess those astronauts are expected to do some exercise on there. I heard about the lunge and the squats.
Right. Have to stay fit up there.
Got to stay fit. So it's good that they're going to do that. We'll see you guys again at 6 o'clock. Thanks for joining us.